careful too. But if they manage to close it out really early too, that would be good for them because DEUS VULT had those 2 late game heroes and they weren't able to do anything about that in that final stage. They already they are already picking up the bans here as fast as now. They banned the Minotaur, they banned the Phoveus too. Matilda and the Fanny too from the other side for DEUS VULT, still respecting the fact that Irad is very much capable of using this hero. We still have the Guinevere, the Ruby, the Novaria that could be stolen here by RRQ.
Yeah, definitely can be stolen here. You know, now RRQ Hoshi is going to have first pick, which means they have priority over who they want to slot in first. We did see the Benedetta last time picked up from them. It was banned out in the previous game. Do they let Banana pick that up again? No, they are going to ban it out. So they already they're playing smart so far for DEUS VULT. They know better than to let Banana have that. And honestly, I feel like I would do the same thing. You just got to respect his mastery on it. But the Joy is going to walk. It usually was banned out in the previous matches. And this time, RRQ Hoshi will be able to pick him up.
Oh, so DEUS VULT, they can go for the CC here. It's open. CC Guinevere, CC Ruby here for the side of the DEUS VULT. But they still need someone to take control of this Joy. The usual answer is usually a Kaja or a Franco, the only 2 heroes in the game that have suppression. Or is DEUS VULT gonna go with the classic meta that we see right now, like double CCs for I mean, I'm not talking about the hero, but like heavy CC type of composition here for their side, or maybe even pick up the Novaria as early as now.
Yeah, I would definitely say the suppression is probably one of the best things they can use, especially up against that Joy to be able to keep him at bay. They are going to go in for their marksman, though. Going to lock in that Claude. I mean, Hiko, they want to get him comfortable in that gold lane, especially going up against Skylar. And we all know how much damage he can deal. He was doing really good on that carry in the last game as well. So to be able to see the Claude will guarantee them some late game damage from the side of DEUS VULT, but it's going to allow some other picks to walk in favor for RQ. I mean, Guinevere is still on the table. It could be picked up if they want it. They could slot it in the roam position. It could be a jungle. It could be an XP. But this looks like a response. Yeah, I was going to say it's a steal, right? Because they're trying to deny Sunset Lover having the opportunity to pick up that Novaria, which is going to force him to something that he may not be as good with.
Yeah, I think Sunset Lover has a lot of heroes under his belt. So not only the Novaria, but definitely in this patch, he has been picking this up several times. And RRQ Hoshi kind of understands that, okay, we need to have something either like, put Sunset Lover on something else, maybe perhaps like a DEUS VULT right now. Going for either like the usual answer is like a Valentina, right? There's a lot of good ultimates to pick up here for the side of RRQ, but I'm not so sure if that's going to be enough. They still need to answer out to the Joy right now. They do have the CC, they do have the Claude. So will they pick up like a different type of hero for the side of DEUS VULT in terms of the roam position? They're going to be locking in the Spharamis. Still not going to confirm anything if this is going to be towards the this is going to go to the XP. I'm sorry, going to go towards the roam or the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, they have the support from the Faramis, definitely going to keep them alive. I mean, they can't pick the Valentina for RQ Hoshi since they picked up that Novaria, so it does put them at a little bit of a disposition. I like what DEUS VULT is doing here. I mean, they're grabbing sustainability. They already have CC for the strong frontline presence. We talked about Kim Bomba running the Ruby and how it wasn't as effective, but this time it may be a different story with the CC in play, but he is going up against the Ruby on the other side, and that is going to be Banana running that, who has been known to be one of those heroes or players that know how to rotate around the map and then get to the mid lane and also to the objectives first. So that may be a little bit of a challenge for Kid Bomba. I got to see how he plays into it just because of how well Bananas should be able to sustain himself inside of that lane. But I will say I'm looking forward to seeing how well the CC will play into his hands. I don't think the Ruby was it for Kid Bomba. I think the CC may be a possible answer. Now, we still don't see anything for this Joy on the table so far. As we are looking at the bans, they are going to go in for this Boxia for the side of RRQ Hoshi. Going to ban that out, trying to limit the jungle pool for the side of DEUS VULT. Final ban on the way for the side of DEUS VULT is going to go ahead and be that Bruno, a possible problem for the Claude. Now, the carry could still be a viable option. I mean, I would have liked to have had the Claude, especially up against the Faramis. They need some late game insurance, though, I would say, for the side of RQ Hoshi.
Yeah, I think Skylar could go for the Nathan here for the final pick. They still do
Ooh,
have
that's a
that
good one.
last ban for their side. The Barretts was also difficult to deal. Okay, wow. And right on cue again, just as I was saying, the Barretts could be a problem for them. And it seems to be a pickup that a lot of the junglers go for first, right? Like if not the Martis, they go for the Barretts. And it's going to be, wow, double support for the side of Deus Vault. This time it's in the form of the Angela and the Fermis. Let's see what the Magister will pick up last. There's still the Martis that they could pick up, but again, I don't see any answers just yet to control the joy here of Irad once it pops up, right? And now Skylar and Brusco still need a hero. I'm not so sure if the Ruby here will go to the XP lane, since Brusco is also one of those players that is known to work this Ruby really well. So let's see what RRQ Hoshi will pick up here in their second phase. I do like that Nathan pick though. Like it has a mobility, it has a burst that they definitely need right now, especially since the Faramis is in the composition.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the best option that they have right now. They are going to go in for the Cho, though. You're going to use away the
Oh,
Dragon,
classic
some
Brusco
single
pick.
target CC. Yeah, classic Brusco pick. That's actually going to be fun to watch when we do jump in there. I mean, they have the crowd control already from Ruby on Banana, and then they also have the Navaria on top of that. So it looks like the single target CC just really fits well within this composition. We still got to see who they're going to run in that jungler spot, though. I guess it'll be Joy Jungle. Yeah, it'll be Joy Jungle.
Yeah, Joy.
So
Yeah, they
Skylar
still
is gonna
need
have to
something
pick up
for
his
Skylar
marksman.
though.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean
the Natan, it
Nathan.
has to be the Natan. Yeah, it has to be. I
Yeah.
don't. I mean, the Brody's up there, but I don't think it's as will do as well as
It's
the
banned out.
Nathan in here. Oh, it is banned out. Oh yeah, so
It's
they
banned
really only have
out.
one option.
I'm thinking something along the lines of Nathan or the Iksha, right? But the Iksha can be zoned away here by the CC. So I think RRQ Hoshi just has to think of that. I like this trophy coming out from Brusco because a little trivia for everyone. He is one of the top Bruno players in the Philippines. And this is one of his signature picks, even when he was playing the amateur scene. So it's nice to see this comeback coming out from the Brusco. Definitely can be it can be a problem, especially for those the heroes like Angela and the Claw that can get isolated in this clash. The single target pickoffs can still be a thing with someone like Brusco handling this Cho. It'll definitely be a game changer here for RRQ. So they're really taking their time here to pick up their marksman. Either I'm thinking along the lines of an Iksha or a Nathan here for RRQ Hoshi's final pick. They need that burst.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, no, it's not. It's real. Okay, we'll find out. We'll definitely find out once we head over into the Land of Dawn. But our production has confirmed it. That's a Layla last pick. I was talking about burst, but I wasn't expecting that to come right off. The Layla pick here for Get to the Future as we head on to our match point. This is gonna be RQ Hoshi and Deus Vault for this explosive BO3 as Deus Vault are kickstarting it up. Brusco gonna be backing away, and they pick up the first blood.
We spawned into the Land of Dawn.
I'm not so sure if they're gonna go
to a straight kill. Wow, what a good pick-off. It is Layla, though. I gotta ask you, BK, you got $1 million on the line and you're competing? You're picking up a Layla?
She is the poster girl of Mobile Legends after all. Not so sure if this is going to be a redraft. Definitely getting hard in the early game. As you can see, the aggression here from the side of Deus Vault. Irad doing his very best. Pops in that ultimate to pick off Magister. That's going to be it. RQ Hoshi picks up their first kill of this game.
You know what they say about Layla? She is a glass cannon. It is going to require a lot of protection to kind of keep her safe on the bot side. So RQ Hoshi definitely going to have to put some heavy presence in the bottom lane, especially up against Hiko on that Claude, who can kind of be a lot more mobile and deal that damage. I mean, you're already seeing Brusco rotating to the bottom side. I mean, he realizes that is definitely the focus and the objective. But this is the first Layla game that we have in the Game of Futures 2024 for the winners match group stage A. Is it going to be 100% win rate or 100% loss rate? Time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, in ranked games, she's pretty popular, right? Like, when it reaches the late game, you want burst, you got it in the form of a Layla, and once it positions itself really well, you can definitely dish out the damage. They don't really have a lot of frontline here. They do have Irad to be able to pick up on that early game, but Skylar right now, as long as he doesn't get solo picked off here on his lane, he should be fine, right? Like, just give him the time to farm up, pretty much like the Claude. He should be able to deal out the damage. It does not have that mobility, which is the reason why it doesn't really get picked up in professional play.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a Layla in an NA scene when it comes to like our qualifiers for international tournaments. So, hey,
We've
if you're
seen
in
it in
North
Malaysia.
America and you're watching it, hey, maybe this is this something that you try at home, or do you
This is
just
the
put
key.
right back on the shelf? Is this the key? I mean, Skylar is running it, and we know he's usually more dominant inside of his lane. So I feel like if anybody can pull it off, it's gonna be him.
Yeah, I mean, the Layla pick, right? Like, we were thinking of all the possibilities here. And RRQ was just like, Coach Brent was just like, okay, you know what? Throw out all those possibilities. We're picking up a Layla. And speaking of the Layla, it is pretty much the goal. It's not that far apart from the Claude. So as long as it can maintain the lane, it should be fine. RRQ Hoshi going for the aggression right now. Brusco goes in for the Wave the Dragon. Does not get anything. Nice tug in there though by Banana. Sao goes down as the rest of DEUS VULT forced to back away from that one.
Yeah, forced to back away. 2-2 on the scoreboard so far. Both sides having kills, but Brusco was one of the members that fell, and so was Skylar on the Layla early in the game. That was a Magister taking both of those kills. 2-1-0 right now, having a good rotation on this Martis, slotted in that jungle. Sunset Lover taken very low over there by Octa, using the hero that we primarily see Sunset Lover on, Navaria, against him.
Oh man, I was not, of all the options, right? I was not expecting to see this come out here on the match point at that. Like, maybe in the first game, right? But match point. Oh man, I mean, I'm just at the loss for words right now. The Layla pick, let's see, right? Like, as long as this can scale up, this should be fine. RRQ Hoshi is doing a good job, like, picking up all of those objectives just so that the Layla can scale up. Right now, a Banana starting up this turtle. Brusco as well, going for the Wave of the Dragon. It's going to be Magister to target. Nice stun there from the side of Octa. Netherrealm going to be worked on here by the side of DEUS VULT. Going to be able to sustain. There's the hard guard as well onto Magister. And RRQ Hoshi going to be backing it away. Turtle going to be reset right now as Brusco does not have that Wave of the Dragon just yet.
Yeah, and now you are seeing DEUS VULT's pulling the aggro of this turtle. Gonna try and go ahead and claim it. Irrad not really over there, but he does have the mobility with this Joy to close the distance. Turtle does get reset though, giving him a little bit of time to get that purple buff, but not much of a window. Irrad able to get there in the blink of an eye. Magister takes out Brusco. Irrad is able to claim the turtle for RRQ Hoshi, but Magister gets the double kill to respawn. 4-2 kill lead for DEUS VULT.
Oh man, 4 kills here for DEUS VULT, 600 lead for them, and Irrad doing his very best to make this team shine onto the early game. Again, yeah, we still left Skylar unchecked there. Let's take a look at his items later on, but for now, definitely the gold lane needs that farming, and once it reaches that late game, you should be able to dish out that damage that, you know, even the members here at DEUS VULT will have a hard time dealing with.
Yeah, and already seeing DEUS VULT off to a good start, leading the way in terms of kills and also gold, but lost that first neutral objective on that turtle play. Good steal from Irad last minute. We seen him earlier yesterday with the crazy Lancelot Lord steal, and it just shows you that he's really quick on finding a way into the neutral objective and getting those steals. Now with DEUS VULT in the advantage, they need to find a way to shut down Skylar even more, delay the glass cannon from charging up. Because if it does get to the late game, that's where the Layla is going to come alive. And it'll be very hard to kind of burst him down. They don't really have many heroes on the side of DEUS VULT to get to the back line. I mean, the only one they really have is kind of Kid Bomb. I guess they have Hiko if he can get there with the BMI, but it'll be a little risky, especially with Brusco having this show to be able to use the Way of the Dragon for the single target CC.
Oh man, Brusco right now taking up the damage here coming out from Hiko. Blazing Duet from the backside. He's going to get tugged in there. Sunset Lover going to pick up the kill as DEUS VULT right now standing at 6-2 up against RRQ Hoshi.
Yeah, now you are looking at some damage in the mid lane. Sunset Lover will find Irad. That is going to be another kill into the hands of DEUS VULT, but a response back from RRQ on the bot side. Skylar trying to connect, trying to hit Hiko and take him down. Unable to hit the mark. Will be forced to recall now. Banana may not be able to expand that distance. Forced to use the flicker, but Kid Bomba right behind him really wants to kill, but not able to close the distance.
Yeah. Oh man, DEUS VULT right now, they're doing their very best, making sure that all these lanes are covered before, it heads to the First Lord. And so far, they're covering all of the map straight. Skylar here moving towards the top side to make sure that lane is covered too. But right now, DEUS VULT, they're pressuring after pressure. Nice tug in there, Kid Bomba. Gonna be able to get in all the damage. Sunset Lover to save the day with the Nether Realm, but it's inevitable. They're under the towers here of RRQ HOSHI, and they're gonna take in a lot of the damage as they successfully defend this mid turret.
Yeah, able to defend that mid turret. RRQ HOSHI trying to hold in there. They don't want to lose this match and be sent down to stage 1 of the playoffs. They need this victory over DEUS VULT. It's a little bit of a miscalculated play up against DEUS VULT in game number 2. Costed them with the late Lord play. But now, as you are seeing both teams ready to clash it out, battle in the mid lane. Octa pulled back and hit with the decimation from Magister. Banana trying to join the party, not able to get there in time. Still behind in terms of kills and gold. RRQ HOSHI up to a little bit of a rough start. Lost their turret on the bottom side. Still holding on to the remainders though, which will give DEUS VULT a little bit of that map control they're looking for. Looking at Hiko though, doing a really good job of rotating around the map. Definitely can tell he's comfortable since he was able to take that turret on the bot side. He has now shifted his focus onto the top lane. But now, speaking of Hiko, Heart Guard activated, keep him alive as Banana tried to get the set. Brusco to about 50% HP. Skylar in the mid lane trying to deal damage with the Layla pick. We'll be fighting and hitting from afar. But DEUS VULT trying to find a way to open up this mid lane turret. Not going to be able to do it though. Lord will spawn in the next 24 seconds.
Ooh, this match is just about to get started. 9 minutes in. Oh man, I'm just gonna be switching to stream B because I just have to catch my breath just now. Okay, I'm gonna be switching it out with a private dancer, so you guys can expect to see more of me later on in stream B. But I really do want to see what happens here in this match between RRQ HOSHI and DEUS VULT. Steph, you take the wheel for now.
Yeah, I will definitely take the will, but hey, I'm joined by another familiar face, actually on my side of home territory. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Private Dancer, who you guys seen yesterday on Stream B, has joined the party. How you doing? Yeah, Lord very low. It is going to drop down, and that is going to be DEUS VULT able to claim that, and now trying to cede some more ground on this game. I know Private is now just joining the table, so we'll do a little bit of a brief recap of what we've seen so far. RRQ HOSHI takes game 1. Game 2, almost able to close it out, but not able to take control of the late game, and an epic turnaround from DEUS VULT, taking us to a game 3, which now we are seeing DEUS VULT leading the way. An unorthodox pick of Skylar from RRQ HOSHI. Did pick up the Layla, which is the first Layla I think that me and you both have seen in the game of futures, at least, Private, and definitely haven't seen it in North America in our MSC qualifiers.
Yeah, Layla, one of those picks that it rarely comes up here, but man, what a story to tell. What a time to come in here for Kim to see all this excitement here. 1-1 between RRQ HOSHI and DEUS VULT right now. Lord crashing in at the bottom.
Yeah, crashing in at the bottom. Irad is going to be able to take down Sunset Lover, but down goes the turret on the top side. Ground control definitely in favor for DEUS VULT. You're going to see the Astro Echo Connect. Kid Bomba trying to get away, able to dodge the Astro Meteor just in time. Man, that was like an inch away from taking it down, but Irad on the chase with the electrifying beat will be able to pick up that kill. Down goes another realm, trying to keep the team alive. Sunset Lover go ahead and hits the Shadow Stampede.
Brusco.
Magister will find Brusco. That is going to be a 1-for-1 trade for both sides. And yeah, now looking at things, like we said, DEUS VULT needs to kind of play safe, right? Focus on the objectives. This is the first time we've actually seen them take control of the early game up against RRQ HOSHI. Normally they kind of trail behind and then pick it up in the late game when RRQ HOSHI makes a mistake. But so far, they are leading the way in this game. They need to take this turret in the mid lane. If they can take that, then they'll be able to invade the jungle of RRQ HOSHI and put them on a little bit more of a defensive stance in their jungle. But yeah, as we are looking at some of the items popping up on the board, pay attention to Skylar. That's what we're really looking at. Berserker's Fury does get picked up. Battle on the way, though, in the mid lane. Netherrealm being activated. 3-man set with the Astral Echo from afar from Octa, connecting to this VULT, and now taking the fight into the jungle. Irrad, electrifying beats, takes down Sunset Lover. Magister rushes in, finds Brusco. Irrad will take down Magister for the double kill. Hiko with the heart guard, going in. He wants some bodies. Banana, very low. Hiko gets one. Skylar in the bush. He has spotted him out, and Hiko gets the double. But Skylar will take him down at the same time. 3-for-2 trade. Deus VULT still taking the lead, but Kid Bomba very low, trying to take down Irrad. Forced to use that Vengeance. Sao keeping him alive from the side with this Angela pick. 12-8, Lord spawned in. Deus VULT may have a chance to pull the aggro, but they gotta wait for Magister to spawn back in. They do not have the retribution to be able to take this objective yet. This may be a stalemate for both sides. And honestly, this is the closest game that we have had so far in this entire series between these two amazing teams. But it's gonna go down to the wire on who wants it a little bit more. Sawo taking about 50% HP, and now the Lord Pit has been gained by the side of RRQ HOSHI.
And it does seem like we're at a point where both teams are kind of suffering that late game. I want to say that late game fall off, where you have people like Irrad on the Joy starting to fall off. You've got Magister on the Martis that is starting to fall off. Both teams trying to cope with that when it still comes to damage. But for me right now, Skylar is probably, even though it's not a pick we see very often, this is about the point when those Laylas begin to pop off with that heavy damage and that shredding ability.
Yeah, speaking of shredding ability, down goes the turret on the bot side. Wind of Nature picked up by Hiko will definitely help him out against Skylar. We mentioned the Layla, right? It's a glass cannon, very fragile when touched, but when fighting from afar can deal some massive damage. And it looks like RRQ HOSHI, even though they're down in turrets, they're trying to hold off to the late game. Trust in Skylar. That is going to be the hashtag for today. That is definitely their game plan. But Deus VULT, it's a ticking time bomb. They need to close this out before Skylar gets the full build.
Yeah, we can see right now a little bit of a dance at the Lord, still trying to vie for a position. Magister working his hat off, and right now in a great position. Banana still giving his team vision and making sure that they can counter this when it comes. And Lord at health now, Steph.
Yeah, at health, but it is going to be reset. So we'll get a little bit more of that HP. Banana in a good position to kind of pull that aggro, but Kid Bomba doing great on this CC. He didn't run the Ruby this time around. I think he's definitely performing a lot better on it. I mean, he's only 1, 2, and 3, but he's having such a strong frontline presence. But look at RRQ HOSHI's positioning. I mean, Octa is very far out there, not going to be able to engage if this fight does break out inside of the Lord Pit. And right now, RRQ HOSHI having the control may be able to take this objective.
Yeah, and it's this next one being so important now, right, as both of these teams have a little bit of an advantage. Okay, Bamba in a little bit of trouble here, gets bursted down.
Yeah, bursted down, and now taking the fight into the mid lane is going to go ahead and BMI out of there from Hiko. Magister is going to find Brusco, though. Octa takes down Kid Bamba, 1-for-1 trade. But both teams still able to take this fight. Lord still intact, and nobody has been able to claim it so far, waiting for an opportunity. But it just hasn't been open for either side. But this may be it. Look at Skylar. He's getting closer to late build. I mean, just look at how fast he's chunking down this Luminous Lord. This may be a problem for Deus VULT, as now RRQ HOSHI has found their first lead in this game to be able to open up this map.
Yeah, and right now they got minions at mid. You can tell, especially with how that Lord went off, how important this game is for both of them. Both teams trying to make sure that they don't make a mistake. We're at the 17-minute mark. Most of the builds already at about full build. We're going to start seeing the show up of some immortalities come up on the screen, maybe even some of those winter truncheons as we start getting later and later. Magister in a little bit of trouble as Irrad goes in with the electrifying beats, but decides to turn away.
Yeah, now at the 50K mark for gold. So everybody at the late game build, this is what Skylar's been waiting for. Was Coach Bryn up to a master plan? And Layla, we trust, is the model for RRQ HOSHI, as Skylar getting ready to risk it all and show some brand new meta for the Game of Futures 2024. Hiko will find IRAD though, rushes in, may be able to get another immortality being procced on Brusco. May not be able to get out of there as Kid Bomba will shut him down. 2 members down for RRQ Hoshi, and the push from DEUS VULT into the mid lane. Banana about 50% HP. Skylar, forces the wind of nature, may be able to deal the damage, but Kid Bomba finds him. This is the 2nd kill for Kid Bomba so far in the past 30 seconds. And now a 16-9 kill lead for the side of DEUS VULT.
And through all of this smoke, at the 18-minute mark, mid towers still standing. That's unheard of right now. And it just tells you what kind of defense, what kind of game that both of these teams are playing and what they have in mind. Oh, going in, Kid Bomba takes a heap of damage from that tower, but decides to back off and then clear out the mid minions again.
Yeah, able to clear out those mid minions. And Private, this is getting to the late game, and we know what happens when it gets this late. It's a battle of ping pong, and it's just going to boil down to who can execute a little bit better on either the split pushing or the team fights for the neutral objective. So far, we've seen DEUS VULT do a really good job controlling this game, but a similar story to the issue that RRQ HOSHI fell into the last game. They were not able to close it out with the massive advantage they had in the early phase, and now hitting that 20-minute mark, over 50K in gold. Who will be able to turn the tide in their favor and claim this series?
Yeah, and you said it best. We're so late in the game that it comes down to execution, patience. Who's going to make the first mistake? Who's going to get that first advantage? Maybe catch somebody out, checking a bush they shouldn't have, out of position, maybe too far away from their team to be able to back them up, or even maybe diving a tower. Now that we still have all of our mid towers up here, you can see Sunset Lover and Brusco just saying hello to each other in this bush. Couple of little love taps. Ooh, Brusco actually wastes a little bit of a flicker there while I talk about that Magister at the top.
Yeah, and the Lord does spawn in RQ HOSHI in a possible place to be able to control it and maybe able to take it. But pay attention to Irad, right? Normally we see Banana being the one to split push when you'd run the Benedetta, but now that he's forced on the Ruby, he kind of lacks a little bit of that mobility to be able to provide that split push, and that's where Irad is going to come into favor, especially on this Joy, being able to have that high mobility. But now with the Lord intact Magister, he's waiting. He knows that RRQ wants this objective, but they're just going to kind of do the dance around the Lord Pit and wait for somebody to make the mistake. This is what we talked about. A battle of the late game down to the wire. 20 minutes in. Will we see Davids be able to take it? Big Arm fitted set.
Ooh.
Rocking up that Vengeance. Hard guard activated to save Bomba. Is going to be able to sustain himself with the damage. A good save from Sawo. And it looks like they will be able to disengage, but that was a very close call.
And here's the thing too, is on one side, you have Hiko, who has to be present, has to be in front of everybody, because he still needs to get his stacks on that Claude from the Lord. So you know that on the other side, Brusco is definitely looking for him, trying to connect so that he can get that Way of the Dragon onto Claude and take him out. Unfortunately, when he puts himself out there, DEUS VULT ready. Oh my God, look at the damage he just took.
It was like a headshot right there, 50% HP. Over there onto Hiko from Octa on this Navaria. But look at DEUS VULT trying to deal some massive damage to the Lord. Kibamba very low. Look at Sawa though, already on him, ready to use that hard guard at a moment's notice.
Yeah, and they're doing their best. Kid Bomba doing his best to try to zone out the rest of the team. Look at all the damage he's taken. You can see that the Hearts Guard is ready to try to protect, and this actually might be going to DEUS VULT. Oh, but look at him at the top.
Oh, yep, and now Irad has been known to close the distance. He's got so many Lord steals. Got one with the Lancelot. He's gotten one with the Joy before, but not this time around. Sawa will shut him down. They don't have the retribution now for RRQ HOSHI. DEUS VULT has found their opportunity to possibly seize this game. And the clash is now on the way. RRQ HOSHI wants revenge. Skylar finds Hiko. Sunset Lover will take down Brusco. Skylar gets a double. Down goes Sunset Lover. The glass cannon is revved up and ready to go.
Oh, but I mean, you have Sunset Lever. They're going to have to come back to the base. They're going to have to clear that out. But even with the advantage, DEUS VULT find a kill, but then answering back, RRQ HOSHI able to find some kills of their own to make sure that they're not able to put pressure on this. Oh my God!
Skylar! What a play! Able to take down Hiko. What is going on? Sunset Lover did fall. You see everybody having a hard time now against Skylar, dominating. Maybe able to get another one. Kid Bomba Octa is going to be able to steal the kill, though, last second. I feel like Skylar would have connected there. But nonetheless, they've taken the advantage and will be able to seize this Lord.
Yeah, unless we get them rushing in here, but this does look like, especially with Skylar's damage, this is the Lord that's going to be going over to RRQ HOSHI. We're taking a look at the items. We're starting to see the show. Some of those winter truncheons are out now. Some of those immortalities are out yet. And it's all going to come down to this base defense. But this is a 23-minute Lord.
Now, was Coach Bryn up to some devious activity with this Layla being slotted in? Does he know something we don't? Because it looks like this may end up winning the game for RRQ HOSHI with the full late game build and a Luminous Lord making his way through the top side.
I guess we'll have to find out. We see those, at this point, you can see towers being shredded. And a big I'm Offended lands on the Magistar.
Yeah, big I'm Offended is going to land. Lord make his way into the base for DEUS VULT. One final stand. This is their chance to turn it around, possibly make it up to the Stage 2 playoffs of the Game of Futures 2024. RRQ HOSHI finding a hard time making it into their base, and DEUS VULT will be able to clear out this Lord.
But they still have the lanes to contend with. Still have the bottom, or the mid and the bottom. You can see all of the minions started to crash in here. They still have their high grounds, so still some defense up there. But I mean, man, at this point in the game, all it takes is a good team fight to reduce some of those towers down to paper.
Man, I'm telling you right now, Skylar is looking for that savage play. You just see how patient he's waiting in the back line, waiting to seize the opportunity to deal that long-range damage. Now, the Lord is not in anymore. They were able to burst it down from DEUS VULT, so they have another chance to turn this around. Some solid defense on that push from RRQ HOSHI. Again, at another stalemate, 24 minutes in. I mean, even looking at the items, everybody is in double digits now in terms of gold. Wind of Nature was picked up from Skylar, and then also Wind of Nature from Hiko. Definitely going to have to bait one of them out in order to deal that final hit against each other if it boils down to it. But 13-9, and honestly, it doesn't even matter. We're not even, the kills don't matter. The gold doesn't matter anymore. This official late game, it's going to be a 5v5 clash or a battle on this Lord. As you are seeing RRQ HOSHI very comfortable now. They were in the back in this entire game, but have found their footing.
Yeah, and right now the thing is you're at the point you need an answer for Skylar. You cannot leave him in the back. You cannot leave him doing damage to your team. And that's a problem for DEUS VULT right now, because in the front lane, you have a Rod who's going to be able to go in there, do a lot of burst damage, and they're all going to try to focus that down. And while that's happening, you still have Skylar in the back. So that is the big question here, is can DEUS VULT find a way to get to that back to be able to take Skylar out for some of the next fights?
And you're already seeing them trying to take control of these lanes. DEUS VULT's going to go ahead and clear the top side, ready to take this fight into the Lord Pit. But can they sustain themselves? We already know Skylar is going to be hitting very hard now. They need to find a way to get to him in the backline. And they don't have the easiest composition to do it. Maybe Kid Bomba can rush back there, or Hiko with the BMI, with the Blazing Duet. Could be the trick, but they have to watch out for that Wind of Nature, because as soon as he procs that, he may be able to burst them down. Lord at about 50% HP, and it looks like RRQ HOSHI may be able to take this. Where is Magister? Not able to get there in time, and Lord will go to RRQ HOSHI.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, because they have waves pushing. The rest of the team was done dealing with those, while Magister was basically alone, being zoned out by the rest of RRQ HOSHI while they took the Lord. So it was basically him alone trying to get in there. And I mean, you're not really going to earn much by trying to dive in there and dying, being one down with this Lord coming down as well. Just 2 high grounds left, Steph.
That's right, 2 high grounds left and 1 Layla ready to take it into the base of DEUS VULT. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Make it or break it for both sides. Will Skylar be able to close it out with the Layla, or DEUS VULT be able to turn this around, take down the Luminous Lord, and clear the team of RRQ HOSHI, knocking at the door for their base? In a minute's notice, we will know which way this will go. Down goes the inhibitor for the mid lane. Lord at about 25% HP will be bursted down. Blaze Duet from Hiko to be able to clear it. Another Lord not working in RRQ HOSHI's favor. And now may have to still try and contest with these minions. Do they go in for it though? Or do they push back and wait for the next Lord to spawn in? And Private, I think we might be seeing a 30-minute game.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It's not as exciting, but it is the smart play. Lord goes in, you take down the high ground towers. That's all you got to do, because you know you're winning these team fights when it comes to the next Lord. So all you need to do is be patient, wait for the next Lord, and then you have the pushing power against DEUS VULT without any defense.
Yeah, and right now, Team Underscore picked up from Kid Bamba. There it goes. Skylar doing massive damage. Magister very low, is going to go ahead and get a little bit of that regen from Angela. They're definitely going to be testing out Sawo and making sure he can heal the team up as everybody at that full build. We're not in late game private. We're in late game. As we are looking at both teams fighting it out. Astro Echo connected to the full team of DEUS VULT. A possible chance for them to deal some damage. It's like a game of cat and mouse right now between both of them, because DEUS VULT, they want to find a way to get the Skylar, but they don't have anybody that can really close the distance before getting bursted down. Yes, you have Kid Bamba, but as soon as he rushes in there, Skylar is going to pretty much take him out, or he's going to get hit by Brusco. But on the same side of the table, for the side of RRQ HOSHI, they need to find a way to close out this game, and they're engaging and disengaging is where they have a slight disadvantage. They need to find Brusco going in with the way of the dragon to get a possible setup if they want to be able to end this game, or Banana finding a crucial set with the I'm Offended.
Yeah, and this is that's kind of the big play of this game right now. I mean, you saw a little bit of a fight here at the purple buff. Luckily, Magister still able to get the retry off, get his purple buff here. But yeah, as you're taking a look at these items, I mean, oh, Layla actually does not have the defensive item, so you actually might be able to burst her down.
Yeah, no boots. Running out there with just plain old socks in the land of Dawn. Kid Bamba rocking that vengeance. Very low hit with the sniping. Skylar will shut him down. Kid Bamba will fall and may open up the opportunity for the next Lord to be taken again by RRQ HOSHI. Can DEUS VULT contest? Do they go in, or do they just risk it all, go back to the base, and try and take down yet another Luminous Lord?
They have to know they have to make something happen here. They're not going to be able to withstand another Lord push, but they already have minions forcing their way into the core right now. And this is going to be another Lord for RRQ.
Ooh, this is the set they were looking for. Possible kill. Irab will get the Lord, but massive damage on a DEUS VULT. Blazing Duet into the backline. Skylar takes out Magister. Hiko finds Brusco. Skylar still alive. 1 HP. Immortality being procced on Hiko. He needs to get out of there. The BMI not able to make up the distance. Irad will shut him down. Banana will fall. Sunset Lover takes down Irad. Banana with a truncheon play. Still alive, but Sunset Lover gets the double. Skylar, though, Octa 2v2.
Oh my gosh.
Down to the wire. Takes down Sunset Lover.
That's
finds
game.
another. Sawa will fall. And ladies and gentlemen, RRQ HOSHI will take the winner's match and move on forward in Games of Futures at stage 2 of the playoffs, shutting down their opponent in that bloodbath of a game. DEUS VULT drops down into stage 1 of the upper qualifiers.
Ooh, I just got here and
In last minute, but these matches have been insane. And I'm glad you actually got to catch that. So now we definitely have some stories to talk about as we progress through the Game of Futures.
yeah, just a lot of action here and back and forth from both of these teams. And I want to say, like, a surprise coming from both teams. Sawu with that Hearts Guard definitely having a huge role in the success of DEUS VULT here. But as we started getting more and more later, we were talking about it, the damage coming. You didn't have any type of backline dive for Skylar, and it began to turn the tables.
Yeah, definitely turned the tables. And Skylar, we trust. In Layla, they trust as they pushed on forward in that crazy 30-minute game. DEUS VULT did a really good job, though, controlling the early and the mid game, but fell into the same hole that we saw RRQ HOSHI trip on inside of game number 2. Not able to close it out when you had the massive advantage. And overall, the ticking time bomb from the Layla was able to prevail and deal those last hits to be able to close out this series. Moving on up with RRQ HOSHI, a little bit of those showcasing, though, with the highlights. And overall, like we said, one of the most entertaining matches we have had yet.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows the confidence, especially when it comes to RRQ. I mean, just the confidence itself to kind of pull out a Layla, somebody who just really, especially the early game into mid, not very strong. And then you definitely have to have some type of protection for them because they don't really have any of their own. This is when we're moving. I would love to say that this was toward the end of the game, but this is only midway through at the 17-minute mark as we're still dancing back and forth. And it did DEUS VULT with such a commanding lead here at 9-16, but it comes to a lot of these Lord pushes. You see that they were able to kind of find the jump on, and DEUS VULT kind of charging back here. But as these fights continued, you're going to start seeing Skylar, the amount of damage. They do pick up some kills onto Irad here, but Skylar is going to be raining the damage on and actually turns this fight around so that DEUS VULT is not able to take the Lord.
I feel like if we put a montage of how many Lords we had in this game, it would be like a 10-minute video of how many times we saw the Luminous Lord go down. But nonetheless, yeah, RRQ HOSHI definitely hanging in there, playing for the late game in order to turn it around and put in DEUS VULT in a situation where they really couldn't afford to go back. The minions were just getting way too strong to deal with, and the damage output from RRQ HOSHI was over pressuring them. Skylar taking Magister down, Hiko finding Brusco. This is what kind of led to their amazing victory in the late game. Hiko, though, almost able to get out of there, used the BMI. You could definitely tell both of these teams giving it their all, but there can only be one winner and one MVP. And that is going to go to Skylar on the Layla. Who would have thought it? There it is. The proof is in the pudding. The new meta is out. Check out the build now. It's on the screen. Skylar, Mr. MVP.
If you were tired of seeing Laylas in your ranked games, well, prepare yourself, because it's going to be another thing coming these next few weeks. But, I mean, absolutely deserved. Only 3 deaths on the Layla, especially when this is a character that only shines really well into the late game. And even more than enough to kind of cover for Brusco, who was having a lot of difficulty trying to jump into the lines of DEUS VULT and isolate with that Way of the Dragon. You can see here from the stats, 36% damage on it. We were talking about that, especially shared with Irad, who had 28%. So you had the lethality in the melee distance, very close up. And when they focused on Irad and focused him down, you still had to deal with Skylar in the back lane. I just, hats off when it came to this, I want to say, composition and this strategy.
And his survivability on the Layla, like being one of the least mobile marksmen out there and able to have an amazing KDA like that, shows you that Skylar definitely scales and is able to kind of outperform majority of his opponents inside of the gold lane. Now, Private, I got to ask you a question, man. You got $1 million on the line. You picking up a Layla?
I mean, if I have the confidence and I have the skill level of players from RRQ, I think I might. But I mean, even then, picking up the Layla, I want to say, like, DEUS VULT, they had such a powerful early and mid game that it almost looked like it wasn't going to pay off. And it definitely could have been either or's game here. And unfortunately, this time for DEUS VULT, it was